Previously on this video, please watch it first if you haven't already. News, envy, phones, cities, games, gold, wallets, pots, tennis, sandboy, garlic speeches, anime farts, Mario, Luma, stealth, sewers, dinos, eggs, nukes, guards, name change villains, Wario, Yoshi, and Waluigi totally screw up the kingdom. GG. Now they're all going to different places, brand new convos, brand new faces. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. No more nonsense. Let's go. Okay, so all three of our main characters are going to be doing something unique at this point. So let's go one at a time, starting with our two main Drainos. Originally I was going to have Mario and Luigi go on separate paths like Peach and Toad, but I really wanted the sequel to capitalize on something that the first movie sorely lacked. Some proper, brotherly Mushroom Kingdom adventuring. Yeah, just in case you forgot, the title of the movie is in fact the Super Mario Brothers movie. That Z does exist for a reason. It means multiple, as in more than one. And yet the first movie unfortunately had Luigi locked behind bars for the majority of it, with their only real interactions being at the very beginning and the very end. Heck, even Luigi breaking down his fear barrier and helping his bro during the climax didn't really feel all that epic since he barely had any time for his arc to play out. But the sequel is a good chance for the bros to actually have their own mini adventure together, traveling through the wooded kingdom, exploring and taking down enemies as they go, having a nice conversation where they make callbacks to the first film, or maybe fill us in on some of the ways that the Mushroom Kingdom has changed in the past few months, topping it all off with how proud they are of each other. You know, something really nice to cool down after that roller coaster montage of Wario conquering kingdoms. Movies do need their slow moments, and I just really like seeing Mario and Luigi being loving brothers to each other. Their few moments in the first film were absolute gold, and I need more, dang it! Anyway, during their hike through the woods looking for the poison, who did they come across but Yoshi? Completely out of breath and looking like he's been running for a while. He then pantomimes or maybe draws in the dirt to explain to the bros where he came from. After telling them the basics, which we already know, we get a flashback where we see Wario and his overworked Yoshi flock trekking across the land. Yoshi's been there to see all the abuse and mistreatment that Wario levied against the creatures of every kingdom, especially his own kind, to the point where his view on Wario has shifted from mama to monster. In fact, Yoshi even snags some of Wario's power-ups and tries to stand up to him. But Wario eventually beats him up pretty badly as he uses the last of his energy to make an escape. He looks back at all of his brothers and sisters, the pain on their faces, and vows to return when he finds someone or something that can help. But he's been searching for a while now, and he's starting to think that he might not be able to make a difference at all. I mean, what can one chubby little dino do against a force of nature like Wario? Mario commends Yoshi for his bravery and says that he can totally relate to the little guy. He's been in impossible-to-win situations with seemingly unbeatable foes and all his friends on the line too. And he's learned that those that are truly super are the ones who fight for what's right even when it seems unwinnable. It's been said many times before that Yoshi and Mario are extremely similar in personality and morals, so the idea of a now seasoned and experienced super Italian passing his morals from the first movie down to his bubbly Barney buddy sounds like an adorable dynamic. And if I can be frank here, the mentor route is one of the few paths I could really see his character going down in a sequel, since there really wasn't much to Mario's character in the first film that could be built upon in a new adventure. He doesn't really have any estranged parents or mysterious origins like, say, Po from Kung Fu Panda, or even Peach from the first movie. He went from zero to hero, just like that, and it seems like he's pretty well off at this point. And of course, when they finally make it to the poison, it's the perfect place for a super flashy action scene. Maybe they could fight off some poison piranha plants that emerge from the dangerous purple ooze. The stakes would be extra high because one touch of that poison on bare skin could spell the end for Mario or his brother. But then Yoshi scoops up Mario and tosses him onto his back, leading to the iconic image from the Super Mario World cover. And they'd just be jumping all about, dodging poison spit left and right like it's the Matrix or something. Yoshi's agility and tongue capabilities mixed with Mario's perception and ability to think on the fly, working together as one. Heck, maybe Yoshi takes a risk and tries to absorb some of the poison, only to realize that he can actually spit it right back at the enemy, which he has been shown to do in certain games. This would give Yoshi a taste of true, friendly synergy, an actual healthy relationship instead of the abuse he faced under Wario. Ironically, the fight he had with Mario against literal poison enemies is less toxic than the relationship he just ran away from. Put that in your literature paper, y'all! After they defeat the enemies and craft the new poisonous power-ups, they make their way back to the Mushroom Kingdom as a newly formed three-man unit. Heck, maybe Luigi could even joke about wanting a turn to ride Yoshi. Like he'd just push Mario into the bushes and say, "Oh no, Mario's missing! Dibs!" And then he just runs away with Yoshi. You know, some cute brotherly teasing like that. So with the bros mission complete, we now move on to Toad and his fellow mush buddies, who've all ventured far beyond the Mushroom Kingdom for safety and are planning to keep themselves in an emergency underground storage area until they receive the okay from Peach. Toad navigates the stone tunnels using a little map and headlamp like in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and eventually they find themselves in a spacious room deep underground, capable of holding the entire kingdom's population. He tells them that they'll all be safe in there, and all they need to do is wait for Peach to come and get them. And with that, we get a long moment of silence. The Toads are obviously terrified of what's to come, clearly too petrified to even speak a word as we see the looks on all their faces. Toad himself looks especially distraught, as he just sits down and looks at the ground. Eventually, one little Toad is brave enough to walk up to him and ask, Sir, what's going to happen to us?" And Toad replies, "I wish I knew. We've never been the only kingdom left standing before. For all I know, that heinous monster is just gonna lumber into the kingdom and gobble up the princess like a midday snack. And then what would we be? Just sitting ducks in a stone block waiting for him to smash it open and see what's inside? A mystery box full of a bunch of cowards and their spineless leader? Is that what's meant to happen? Is it?"
I don't know. That's why I asked you."
Obviously, Toad is having a conflict of conscience right now, trapped between his desire to stand by his beloved princess at all costs, like in the first movie, and his newfound duties as a royal, where he's meant to watch over his people and keep them safe. He hates the fact that he's supposed to just stand there and do nothing, while the princess and the plumbers could be risking their lives out there. So what does our tiny Toadie decide to do? Well, he tries to have the best of both worlds, of course. His job is to keep the citizens safe? Alright, fine. He's just gonna train his fellow Toads in the ways of combat and fortitude so they can not only protect themselves, but also join him in the fight to protect Peach. He stands aloft a pile of stone, towering above his fellow pizza toppings. He confidently proclaims, "Aren't you all tired of just sitting on the sidelines and waiting till the smoke clears to come out? Didn't it sting knowing that Bowser was barbecuing our land and we didn't do a thing about it? Well, I say it's time to show this towering tub what Toads are made of. Show him what happens when you mess with our princess and our home. Now who's with me?" Obviously, his speech does a lot to rally the Toads together, and with that, they all begin to train for an oncoming mushroom revolution. Doing push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, whatever they can manage in the storage room. Maybe they yank some of the stones out of the wall to fashion into weapons, or just bench press for strength training. Maybe Toad offers some of the objects in his backpack to help them out, like using his sleeping bag as a heavy bag or something. Basically, one massive training montage where the Toads do their best to bulk up. The music choice here would be easy too. If you want a pop song, either Eye of the Tiger or You're the Best Around could work pretty well, or if you want some actual Mario music, which I'd honestly prefer, I'd either pick a battle theme from one of the Mario RPGs, or maybe some music from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. There are a lot of fun sporty tracks you can pull from that. And lastly, we have Peach's story, which is definitely the most personal of the bunch. We see her walk down into a deep, dark part of the castle basement as she enters a room with a dusty orange warp pipe. She questions if she really wants to do this, but it is for the good of her kingdom, so in she goes. And when she emerges on the other side, we see an old, abandoned, filthy room, covered bottom to top with old pictures and banners and warm, welcoming drawings. Stuff like, "Welcome, Princess Peach," and "Bestie pipe only, do not use unless you're Peach." Clearly, this room has not been maintained in years. In fact, it's locked behind a massive set of steel doors that are even thicker than the walls. Peach uses some power-ups to bust down or melt through the doors and makes a beeline up the stairs, obviously knowing where she's going, as if she's been here before. She finally makes it to the throne room, having been chased by all manner of castle guards and staff who say,
"We're sorry, Your Highness. She was just too quick for us. What do you request we do with her?"
The figure sitting on the throne, cloaked in shadow, states,
"Leave her to me."
as everyone bows and exits the room.
Just what do you think you're doing here?
Princess Peach? Yup, at long last we have the reveal of Princess Daisy. voiced by Danny DeVito. And if the context clues weren't clear enough, these two were the absolute best of friends once upon a time, even having their own personal cross-country warp pipes to see each other, but then they had a major falling out. The two of them have a heated conversation where we learn that Peach was actually banned from Sarasaland, Sarasaland, whatever, the world from Super Mario Land. And all because she committed an offense worse than any act of treason. She cheated during the quadrennial PD World Tennis Invitational! Yup, one year Peach was invited to compete in one of the highest profile sporting events in Daisy's kingdom, the Quadrennial Royal Tennis Invitational, where athletes from all around come to test their racket swinging skills. Peach and Daisy both make it to the final round, which is actually a first for them. They usually play together on the same team and rarely go against each other. It looks like it's just going to be a fun competition between besties, but in the end, Peach actually winds up winning, which is a huge shock to the kingdom since Princess Daisy never loses anything. She's basically undefeated in every sport. They throw a party to celebrate Peach's victory until Daisy bursts in and accuses Peach of cheating. Turns out the judges were rummaging through her equipment and found a secret stash of power-ups in her gym bag. Peach says that she can explain, but Daisy says she doesn't want to hear it. Peach is officially banned from Sarasaland forever, and they haven't spoken since. Peach insists that there's a more important matter at hand now. There's a greedy, garlic-smelling Mario bootleg who's clearing all the kingdoms of their power-ups, and the Mushroom Kingdom is the only one left standing. If they don't join forces to defeat this threat, there's a chance that he'll come for Daisy's kingdom next. Daisy is still salty over the whole cheating fiasco and tells Peach that she's willing to give her allegiance if she's able to beat a royal challenge of hers. Peach insists that there's no time, but Daisy doesn't budge on this one, so Peach is forced to comply. Daisy arranges for an airship to take them to the Royal Tennis Court, and off they go. As we fly over Daisy's kingdom, we see just how competition and athletic-oriented it is. She's got soccer fields, golf courses, and basketball courts, all packed with her subjects playing hard and having fun, really getting into the spirit of competition and even helping others learn how to play the game. And Peach smiles at all this, taking in this very wholesome and sweet image. Daisy disrupts this peaceful ride by yelling into a megaphone and demanding that all subjects of her kingdom make their way to the Royal Tennis Court. A rematch of epic proportions is about to begin. Everyone piles into the seats as the princesses take their sides on the court. Daisy immediately tosses away her dress like it's tearaway pants and reveals her iconic tennis outfit underneath. Peach just kind of sits there baffled and embarrassingly asks, yeah, I didn't know we were gonna do this, so can I go change? And when she comes back, Daisy announces to a crowd that our former ally Princess Peach has agreed to participate in a Royal Tennis Challenge. If she wins, we will aid her in the fight against the gassy garlic giant. And if she fails, she leaves with nothing but shame. The Royal Tennis Challenge just ends up being a normal tennis game, with the catch that Daisy is allowed to use power-ups, while Peach is just left with her racket and her raw skill. And Daisy really lets her have it, being relentless with her power-up usage and some clear rage behind her serves and returns. Also, there has gotta be a scene where the only power-up exclusive to Super Mario Land, the Super Ball Flower, is used by Daisy to serve a bunch of really bouncy balls at the same time. That would be absolute genius for a tennis match. So, after an insane match, accompanied by classic Mario tennis music of course, Peach, again, ends up winning the match. Even with a huge advantage on her end, Daisy still couldn't claim the win. And this causes Daisy to just throw down her racket and run away in tears, with Peach following behind her. When she finally catches up, she tries to apologize to Daisy for what happened all those years ago.
Look, I'm sorry, Daisy. I know you're mad. I know you hate me, but I swear I never cheated. I don't know how those power-ups got in my bag. Maybe one of my toads packed things wrong. Maybe they thought I would need a little extra protection just in case. But then Daisy stops her and admits that it's not her fault, because she actually planted those power-ups in Peach's bag. The idea of her losing that competition just completely ate her up so much that she couldn't help herself. To most people, losing that tennis game would have just been a simple defeat. Say good game, try harder next time, and move on. But it's way different for Daisy.
Basically, competitions are all she really has. Why do you think she centers so much of her kingdom's culture around sporting events and big games and such? She doesn't know how to run a kingdom. No one ever comes to her for guidance or motherly wisdom. She has other people do that for her, while Peach is more than capable of running her kingdom on her own. Peach was always so smart and leader-like, even when they were younger. Everybody looked up to her as an inspiration. All Daisy was ever good at was smoking people in singles. That was what made her feel like she mattered, made her feel worthwhile, made her feel special. And if she ends up being a loser, even once, then what's left for her? What kind of person is she after that? Peach sits down with Daisy and tells her that she is completely wrong. She's imparted all kinds of wisdom onto her subjects without even knowing it. The power of competitive spirit, teamwork, companionship, and fun is evident all throughout her kingdom. She inspires her subjects to teach others, to share in activities as a group, and to never give up in the pursuit of personal and team victories. In fact, it's actually a good thing that Daisy finally lost a match, since it'll show that everybody, no matter how high status they are, can still fail. It's a natural thing that everybody has to understand, and the sooner you accept it, the sooner you can learn from it, and the sooner you can achieve an even sweeter victory later on. Daisy wipes away her tears and looks up at her friend. There goes Peach with her words of wisdom again. The two girls embrace, and with their friendship finally mended, Daisy bursts onto the scene, megaphone in hand, and basically says,
"Alright everybody, pack up your gym bags with as many power-ups as they can hold. We're going to the Mushroom Kingdom tonight for our greatest challenge yet. I want to see hustle, I want to see teamwork, and I want to see a fat man fall!"
Everybody cheers as they all scatter to grab their equipment. Bags and bags of power-ups and weapons from each resident. And we also see this really little guy struggling to drag this massive overloaded bag, looking like he overpacked a little. Right before her eyes, Daisy's given clear proof that Peach's words have merit, as everyone is willing to rally together at a moment's notice to work together. And she gives Peach another hug. And with that, the trifecta is complete. We got our secret weapon, a bunch of power-up toting reinforcements, and even Toad is flipping the script and getting ready to surprise Peach with some extra shroomy soldiers. Which means it's finally time to take Wario down. And that's the end of part 2. We've still got the climactic conclusion to come, not to mention capping off this cavalcade of captivating character arcs, but I think I'm gonna save that part for the digital release of the film or something, since honestly, I'm all Mario movied out at this point, and I think you guys are too. Time to move on to some more relevant topics on my to-do list. But as always, what did you guys think? Did you enjoy some of the character arcs I cooked up, or would you have maybe handled their growth a little differently? There's always room in the writer's room, so leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I hope to see you all real soon.